Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna spend some time to configure the Ether channel. So Ether channel between three switches. Here, as you can see in my topology, we have two PC1 and PC2. And then we have three switches, which is here, three switches 1, switch 2, which is a multi-layer switches, the layer 3 switches, and the switch 2 and the switch 3, which is a switch 2 layer. So I will have to communicate between those three switches by configuring Ether channel. But first of all, before to begin, let's configure each switches by labeling it by the name. Like example now, all the switch doesn't have a name. We have a switch 1 in the topology, switch 2 and switch 3. And I need to assign all those label name. I need to label it from the switch. So to begin, I will go to the switch 1, which is here. So let's do some configuration of the name. We're going to give the name on the switch 1. So I'll go on the terminal now on the switch 1 where we can begin. So as you can see, the switch doesn't have a name. I need to go to the configuration terminal mode. And from here, I'm going just to type host name, switch 1. Let's put it shorter, SW1, which representing the switch 1. Then as you can see, we successfully labeled the switch 1. So I will do the same thing for the rest of the switch on the topology. So now let's go to the switch 2, which is here. So I need to label also these switches. So I'll go to the terminal and then from here, configuration terminal mode and doing the same thing, host name, but shorter SW2, which is the switch 2. It is labeled. And now we need to move on this last switch, which is the switch 3, which is here. I'm going also to label that by going on the terminal. Well, so we have all the switches labeled now successfully. Now, secondly, I need to set up the VLAN from all the switches. So in my case, I need to choose this VLAN 20 for the switch 1 and the switch 3, which is going to be the interface over here. From here, we're going to put this line. So between this line is going to be is VLAN 20. As well for the switch 3 is going to be the VLAN 20. So I'm going to put VLAN 20 on both line on the fast Ethernet 05, as you can see here on our topology. And I will need also to put the VLAN here between those lines. So between those lines here, I need to put the VLAN. I will choose the number VLAN 88 for the Ether channel length. So now I need to go to begin. I need to choose the switch 1. So to make it easier, I go to the notepad and to type the command, then I will type it and I will paste it after. So let's do that. Just I'm going to the notepad. Here I type VLAN 20 and then name. Let's put the name users. Then VLAN 88 name. Let's put management. So, and exit. So I'm going just to copy this code and paste it to all the VLAN. This is what I'm going to do. So let's go to the VLAN 1 and go to the switch 1. And from the config terminal mode, I'm going just to type this command, select this command, copy it, and paste it in. As you can see, we didn't get error, so that means it's fine. So we're going to do the same thing for the switch number 3. So I'll go in just there to the switch number 3 by copying the same thing and switch on the switch 3 and doing the same thing, paste the command. As you can see, we didn't get any error, so everything is fine. And now for the switch 2, for example, this is a different case. In the switch number 2, there is no fast Ethernet 05 on this line. So we're going to make sure just we have this all this the VLAN configured on this side of the switch, because we have to allow those lines to pass through the switch number 2 as well. So I will go to the switch number 2 and do the same thing. And from here, I will just copy the command I did before from the notepad, copy it, and paste it here. And well, so now let's check if from all the switches we have the same VLAN has been configured successfully. I will start by the switch 1 and by going back to the exec command mode, I tap show interface, show VLAN brief. As you can see, our switch VLAN number 20 and number 28 has been perfectly configured, and we have the users and the management. So let's go to the switch number 2. I'll do the same thing to double check. Show VLAN brief. As you can see as well, we have the line 20 user and management 88 management, and so all is well. So let's move on the switch number 3 and do the same thing just to make sure that our VLAN has been configured successfully. Show VLAN brief. Well, so all the VLAN has been configured successfully. So now let's move on the next step. So for now, we need to go to assign all the port in the interface. As you can see in our topology, we have these switches like number 1. The interface are here: fast Ethernet 01, fast Ethernet 02, fast Ethernet 03, fast Ethernet 04, and fast Ethernet 05, which is on the other line of the PC. So now we need to make sure that all the interface is up, because now it's in the down state probably. So we need to check by going to show IP interface brief on the switch 1. So I will begin by checking the switch 1, and then I'm going to put all the switch excepted only what we need to do, working on the switch, the port from F01 to F04 and to F05. We need to put it on the up position, as now it should be done. So let's go to the switch 1 and then let's make some space and type show IP interface brief. As you can see, all is in a down state. All are in a down state. So I'm going just to allow the fast Ethernet from 01 to 05. This is what I need to allow. put it on the up position. Now it's in down state. I need to put it, accepted the fast Ethernet 05 as in the up state already. So we're gonna put the from fast Ethernet 01 to fast Ethernet 05 to up position. So let's do just that. I go to the switch 1 and then let me clean some spaces. I'll go to the configuration mode, config terminal mode, and interface. As I'm going to apply all this, the interface from fast Ethernet 01 to fast Ethernet 05, I'm gonna type the program command interface range F0/1 to 5, and following by typing the no short command. And you can see now the position is going to be changed to up. So if we tap no short, let's double check now. Do show API interface brief. Now is in up state. So we're going to the interface as well, the switch 2. Now let's go to the switch 2. I will do the same thing to open all the interface app. Configuration terminal, interface range F0/1 to 5. F0/1 to 4. Interface range F0/1 to 4. And then by following the row command, no short. So as you can see, is now in up state. So let's move on to the switch number 3. So which is here. Number 3, which is here. We're gonna work on this switch now. Put all the interface in the up position. Interface range F0/1 to 4 and no short. Oh, we forgot one interface F0/5, 50. So I tap interface F0/5 as well, no short. Okay, so we are good now. All the interfaces are in up position. So we can double check again by going back to the switch number 1. We can check it. By typing show IP interface brief. As you can see, the interface from fast Ethernet 01 to 5 are in up position. So we're good now to work. So this is the time now we're going to work on the interface, and we're going to assign some interface the switch port trunk, because between two interfaces on the switches need to communicate. We need to making as a trunk port. So to do that, I'm going just to type interface range on the switches 1. So let's do just that. So I'm going to work from these switches, and then from here I'm going to type the command configuration terminal, and then interface range fast Ethernet 0/1 to 4. And now from fast Ethernet 01 to 4, which is here, we're going to assign that as a trunk port. So this is what I need to do. I type switch port. This is the command, switch port mode trunk. As you see, the state has changed because the switch port mode trunk has been activated. And now I need to following by this command, I need to type switch port trunk native VLAN, which is number 88. So this is the VLAN we choose for, and then we need to exit the line. So what I'm doing now, actually, what I'm doing now is telling this line from this line to this line is going to be the trunk port. So let's take it here, label it. So I'm going to tell this line, this from this line to this line, you are a trunk port. So this VLAN 88 is going to be for all the interface here. So from here, okay, so this VLAN mean that is going to be for this line as well, this line as well, this line as well. So those one is going to be belonging to VLAN 88. This is what I'm trying to tell that. So from first switch 1 to switch 3, I'm going to assign those VLAN between those link as a trunk port. So I'll repeat the same step for the switch 1 to switch 3, except that for the switch 2. In the switch 2, we need to put the command switch port trunk encapsulation.1q because the layer 3 switches won't allow the trunk port without activating the encapsulation.1q. This is what I'm going to do now. So let's just do it. So from the switch 2, let's configure this step now. Configuration mode again, and then here I'm going to tap switch port trunk interface range fast Ethernet 0/1 to 4, and then switch port trunk encapsulation .1q, and then following now by the command switch port mode trunk. And now lastly, I need to apply also the native VLAN as before, switch port trunk native number 88. As you can see in the topology, the number 88 will go for all these VLANs, so those lines. So you can see here from the topology, shows the line. Now I finish with the switch number 2. Let's go now to the switch number 3. We're going to assign the switch port mode trunk as well. So let's move on to the switch number 3. And then I'm going back to the interfaces mode. configuration terminal, interface range from F0/1 to 4, and switch port mode trunk. Switch port trunk, native VLAN 2088. Switch port mode trunk, switch port mode trunk, switch port trunk. Let's make sure if we type the command correctly. Configuration terminal, interface range fast 0/1, switch port trunk native VLAN 88. We get an error. Let's make sure what we did. Switch port mode trunk. Let's type it again. Switch port mode trunk. And switch port trunk. Native VLAN 88. Yeah, we're good now. So, and normally those switch has been successfully configured for the VLAN 88. Now, the following step is going to be, let's exit from here. The following step will be, we need now to work on what they call VLAN from the fast internet 05 on the switch 1. Remember, we assign the VLAN between the other line. So this line from 1 fast internet 1 to 4. But for VLAN fast internet 05 interface for both switches on the router 1 and number 3, we have not assigned yet the VLAN. So we need to allow the interface to be assigned the VLAN number 20. Remember, before we put number 20 and number 88 when we assign our VLAN on each switches. So we need to make this interface access to VLAN 20 as well. So to do that, I go to the switch 1. So let's just make sure we need to label it before. This is the VLAN which going here. I take this copy and paste it here. So this should be here between this line and as well here between this line. This need to be VLAN 2020. This line and this line need to be VLAN 20. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to assign this interface on the VLAN 20 for both switch. So let's start by the switch 1. This is the VLAN F fast internet 05. So let's go to the switch number 1. Configuration terminal. Interface fast ethernet 0/5. Then I need to type the command switch port access, switch port mode access, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN, number 20. That's it. We need just to do that. And following, I will do the same thing for the VLAN on the switch tree. So let's switch on the switch tree, which is here. So we're going to work on the switch number 3 now. This is the part we need to work. And we need to assign also the VLAN there. So VLAN number 20 here. So I'll take this line, just copy it and paste it here. So here is going to be also VLAN 20. So let's go back to the terminal on switch number 3. Configuration mode, interface fast Ethernet 0/5 and switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 20. So both are in the same VLAN. So you need to be on the same VLAN, otherwise you won't be able to communicate. And now let's exit this mode. Then we need now to assign in each switches the IP addresses. So by beginning by the switch 1, I need to assign the IP address on the interface of VLAN 88. So I need to type interface by going to the switch 1, go back to the switch 1, and then let's exit this mode and interface fast Ethernet 01 to /04. We need to assign the IP address interface VLAN. So the VLAN already has been assigned each addresses, but we need now to type to assign each switches the IP addresses. All the interface has been on the app started now. So we need to go to the interface VLAN 88, then IP addresses 192.168.88, following by the number of the VLAN. That for this case, I choose number 20. The address is going to be that 20 for this switches, and following by the subnet mask /24, and then press enter. And we need to type the command no shot just in case. Okay, we're done with the switch 1. Now let's move on to the switch number 2, which is here. So I'm going to assign also an IP address for these switches, which is here, switch number 2. Interface VLAN 88, then IP addresses 192.168.88. This time let's choose the address 21 at the end, that 21, following by the subnet mask 255.255.255.0. And then don't forget the command no shot. And we're done with the switch 2. Let's move on the switch number 3, which is going to be the same thing. From here, I'm going to type also the same thing, and interface VLAN 88 and IP addresses 192, that's 168, that's 88. And this time let's choose, before it was 20, 21, this 22, that 22. Subnet mask 255, that 255, that 255, that's 0. Then no short. Now we're done with the switch. Number 3, which was the last one. Now I'm going to configure the PC. Remember, we have a 2 PC here. We have a PC1 and the PC2. So we need to configure those addresses as well, because those PC doesn't have an address assigned yet. So I'm going to start by the PC1 to assign the addresses. So let's go to the terminal, PC1, and from here I assign the address of, let's put the address of 10, that's 10, following by the number of the VLAN, 10.10.20, that 1. Or let's type 192, that 168, 192, that 168, that's 20, that, for example, that's 10. And then the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, which is assigned correctly. So then we finish with the PC1. Let's go to the PC2 this time, which is here. So I'm going to assign the addresses as well. PC number 3, PC number 2, sorry. And then IP address 192, that 20, that 12. And the mask 255.255.255.0. It is good. And now I'm gonna try to ping from PC1 the PC2. So what I'm going to do now is probably to ping from this PC to that PC, which is here, and see if we get the response. You can see our line is working correctly. I can ping it again. It works correctly. Now I will try to ping likewise I did back and forth. I'm going to try to ping the PC1 from the PC2. So I'm going to this direction to make sure that the communication is working perfectly. Ping 192, that 168, that 20, that 10. As you can see, both address can communicate perfectly. So those address has been assigned. And to make sure that we don't forget the address that we assigned for these PCs, I can just type it up by making sure that we are not forgetting the address that we assigned. So as you can see, everything is fine. So everything just looks okay. So now what we need to do again is we need to do what they call the ether channel, how to assign the ether channel between those LoRa. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to choose the PAgP for this line here. So let's put it here. So we have a PAgP and we have a PAgP and LACP choice for the ether channel. So in this case, there is a two line. Here I choose the PAgP from this line, and from the other line I'm going to choose the LACP. This line I will choose the LACP from here. So this is what I'm particularly gonna do. And to begin, this line between those lines here need to communicate PAgP from here and here. So it's gonna be those interface. So fast Ethernet 01 and fast Ethernet 02 for the switch 1, as well fast Ethernet 01, fast Ethernet 02 for switch 3, because we're going to this direction and that direction. So this is where we're gonna start by adding the PAgP. So I will go back to the switch 1 on the terminal. And from here, I go type the command interface fast Ethernet 0 slash fast internet, let's say interface range. To make it easier, then we can assign both interface at the same time. Fast Ethernet 0 slash 1 to 2. And now I will type the command channel group number 1. For example, let's start by number 1. And then mode. If I tap the question mark from here, you will see we have a menu here. Here we are about to assign the PAgP, first of all, the PAgP in this line. So you will see the option here for the PAgP. For the PAgP, we have desirable, which is here, unconditionally desirable, and we have the auto here. So we cannot assign the same buff interface back and forth the same. If, for example, one side is auto, it shouldn't be auto at the same side. Or if one side is desirable, it shouldn't match. It should be one side or each other. It should be desirable one side and another auto. You cannot put the same, otherwise it won't work. In this case, let's choose desirable for the switch 1, desirable, and tap enter. So we're done for the switch 1. Now, let's move on to the switch number 3, because we're working here. So in the switch number 3, and I'm going to do the same thing as I did. Interface range, fast Ethernet 0 slash 1 to 4 to 2, sorry. And then channel group number 1, and then mode. Remember, the other side was desirable. This time, if we put the question mark, so it's going to be auto. I'm going to choose auto. Mode auto. Press enter. Then we're done. So if you want to check now to make sure if we have our line correctly, the channel mode is working, we can type the command show. Yes, show. You tap show, following by the EtherChannel to EtherChannel summary. As you can see, we have a PAgP here, which is assigned between fast Ethernet 01 and 2. You can see that clearly. It's working. PAgP between fast Ethernet 1 and 2. And now, let's move on to the switch number 1. As you can see, we have the switch number 1 here. Now, we're going to work between those lines. So we already done for the switch 3 and switch 4. Now we're going to assign the LACP. So it's going to be between the line fast Ethernet 04 and fast Ethernet 03, which is in this line, and between fast Ethernet 01 on this line to fast Ethernet 02 on that line. So we're going this direction, back and forth. So to do that, let's go back to the switch 1. And I will type interface range fast Ethernet 0/3 to 4, and then channel group number 2. Remember, before we had the channel number 1, now we choose number 2. And mode, if I type a question mark, you will see the mode which is given here for the EtherChannel only or LACP. So active or passive. In my case, I'm going just to type the EtherChannel only, which will gonna give me also the AACP. So I type channel mode on. As you can see, I put it. Then now let's go to the switch number 2, which is here. And then I will do the same thing. Exit, interface range, fast Ethernet 1 to 2. Then channel group number 2 and mode on. Now let's go back to the exec mode and type show EtherChannel summary. As you can see, we have differences here. So this is not done yet. What happened here, I can tell you what happened. Because we forgot to do something on the first line. If you understand, remember. This mistake, I was about to test it. Why we get this? This shows that the line is on, but is not assigned. We're supposed to put the line active, not on, but active and passive. It was a trick to show you that it won't work if you don't respect that. So if I go back now to the switch 1, this time, if I go back on the switch 1, this time, you will see if we look at really here, we put mode on. This is enable EtherChannel only. But now if we needed to enable this EtherChannel for the LACP, we're supposed to do active or passive one side. Then it's gonna let us work. So to do that, I'm gonna just do it right now. We're still in the interface channel. Now I'm going to remove the first channel group 1. I will now tap channel. I'm going to tap channel group 2, and mode active. Yeah, is already. We need first to remove the channel on before by typing no channel group 1. And now we're going to assign the same command that we did before, channel group 2 mode active. Then we got do show EtherChannel summary, do show EtherChannel summary. Now you can see we have the LACP enabled here. So if you see clearly here, it shows clearly between PAgP, between fast Ethernet 1 and 2, we have PAgP, and from the fast Ethernet 0, 3, and 4, we have the LACP enabled. That show that we successfully enabled the configuring the Ether channel in our topology. That's it for this demonstration.